Hey guys, Ninja here, and today we're going to talk about how to play Iron Man. So Iron Man is the kind of character that he's kind of like a mage in any other game. The way I describe a mage as is somebody that stands away from the crowd and applies whatever they think is necessary at the time. So that may be a debuff, that may be a high hitting damage move, that might be a giant AoE, you know. That's usually what I consider a mage. And Iron Man is one of those characters that he can stay far away from the enemy. He does need to dodge because they have tracking shots and they will know where you are if you don't got no good tank. And what I've learned from Iron Man is that you usually want to be in the air. There's no real reason to go onto the ground that often unless you just want to do a little mixed combat. Now remember, this is subject to change because, like, from what I understand, there's supposed to be 2 other skill trees, and his playstyle could change before we even get to the final game. Right, so keep that in mind. Anyway, one of the things you need to do as an Iron Man is learn how to fly. To fly, you need to press the L3 button or whatever the flight button is for PC. And if you need to do a E-brake or just stop in midair, right, you're going to want to either A, aim, or B, you're going to want to press the flight button again, and so you'll just start hovering. If you want to ascend, you need to press the jump button. If you want to descend, you want to press the dodge button. Whatever that is for PC, it may change depending on if they allow you to set up your controls differently, and that's up to y'all. Anyway, that is really the key to flying and hovering. But you also want to get an understanding of combat flow for Iron Man. So you need to also understand when to dodge. How much do you need to dodge? Do you need to drop to the ground? Is it time to go to land? Where's health at and all that? Because it's like you're not really going to have any way to take down. You're not really going to have anything to do. So you're going to have to either take them down, find a health kit, or just like keep some range until you can somehow repair yourself. And that's what I mean by you need to understand the flight system. Iron Man has 3 different weapon types. The repulsors that are really good at melee combat, and also they're very cost efficient. You could use these pretty much anywhere. You got the lasers, or the beam attack, things you usually see in the MCU, that are really good at applying statuses and are really good for DPS. You'll see yourself using this a lot, strictly just because you want to apply DPS. You've got the rockets. Rockets are the strongest thing Iron Man's got, at least for the beta. The rockets they do have AoE, but you're most likely going to hit like single target all the time. And so if you're worried about doing a lot of burst damage, that is the best option. That being said, it's not the most cost effective, and it's not even in the middle of the ground cost effective. So you gotta maintain your energy. Well, really, you gotta maintain them with all of them, but you have to worry about it more with rockets than anything else. Now, since I've talked about your different ammo types, I also need to tell you that there are 3 different versions of the heavy attack for Iron Man. Iron Man has the repulsor blast, where he just shoots a shot while he's fighting in melee combat. He's got the photon samurai, which is basically some lasers he extends while he's attacking, and it pretty much cuts everywhere in like a AoE fashion. And then he's got the rockets, which are basically like single target attacks, that do AoE on impact. Next, we'll talk about Iron Man's abilities. Iron Man's got 3 main abilities. His most defensive is his unit beam. This is his strongest single target attack. This does not pierce, and it's about the same as his beam, but way stronger. His superconductor, it's not really the name of it, but it basically gives him a cooldown, and it gives his teammates a cooldown while also giving him infinite ammo for a short period of time. As you can see, I'm shooting my beam way longer than I should be, and I'm just melting that boss. Now let's talk about his ultimate, the Hulkbuster. The Hulkbuster is a good way to do high hitting damage while also trying to survive like in a low health situation. So a lot of times I pop it easily then. But it's also helpful for if you want to bust down doors that you can't normally bust down unless you're playing Hulk or Kamala Khan. You can also cancel this early, by the way. He doesn't have any special abilities such as the Unibeam or the what you call the electrical conductor, but really the cooldown reduction thing. He doesn't have that, but he does have pretty much Hulk's kind of slam moveset per se, and he does have hard hitting ranged attacks. I find that, or really any ranged character, but I find that Iron Man's really the best option when it comes to dealing with like turrets, so dealing with ranged flyers, dealing with drones. Really, I mean, everyone can do a ranged attack, but for Hulk, it's a problem if he's getting tagged by lasers all the time. Look, he can get to his ground enemies easily, and he can pop rage all the time, but he can't armor through a bunch of lasers while also fighting through a bunch of enemies all the time. So, main objectives, from my experience, is just taking out the turrets, taking out the range people. Really, your main thing is just disabling the enemy and taking out whatever is hurting your tank. I mean, you are the ranged magic DPS, really. But that's pretty much it for the video. Remember, if you have any other questions, remember just leave some comments, and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. Anyway, thanks for hanging out in the video. I really appreciate it. And next thing I will be doing is, I think it's going to be Black Widow, but it may be Hulk. So you'll see soon. Anyway, goodbye.